3 Greek spies are caught inside the largest military camp the ancient world has ever seen. They face execution. Then the king of Persia gives a strange order. Don't kill them, show them everything. This wasn't mercy. It was a weapon. Their terrified report would cross the Aegean. Herodotus later recorded 1.7 million Persian soldiers. Only 31 Greek states dared to resist. To understand that number, we start in the autumn of 481 BC at Sardis. Sardis, the western capital of the Persian Empire and the terminus of the royal road, a highway stretching 1,500 miles east to the imperial heartland at Susa. In autumn 481 BC, Xerxes arrives here with his assembled forces. Sardis is the natural staging point, close enough to the Aegean coast to threaten Greece, connected by a road to the vast resources of the empire behind it. But Xerxes doesn't march. He can't. Ancient warfare was seasonal. Winter storms close mountain passes, turn roads to mud, and make naval operations lethal. No commander moves a massive army through those conditions. So Xerxes waits from autumn 481 through the winter into early spring of 480 BC. 5 to 6 months of forced delay, and that delay is the hinge of everything that follows. Because while Xerxes waits at Sardis, word of his enormous army crosses the Aegean and reaches Greece. News of the Persian buildup travels fast. The Spartans, acknowledged military leaders of Greece, call an emergency congress at the sanctuary of Poseidon at the Isthmus of Corinth. The isthmus is the narrow neck of land connecting northern Greece to the Peloponnese, both a geographic choke point and a sacred meeting ground. Delegates arrive from across the Greek world, from Athens in Attica, from Thebes and Delphi to the north, from Sparta, Corinth, and the Peloponnesian cities to the south. They gather beneath the sacred pines of Poseidon's precinct and debate a single urgent question: resist the Persian advance or submit? The vote reveals the scale of the problem. Out of more than 700 Greek polities, city-states, and islands, 31 agree to resist, 31. The rest choose neutrality, submission, or active collaboration with Persia, what the Greeks call the Medizing, from the word for the Medes. This is not a unified nation. It's a thin, fragile coalition of independent communities, most of whom looked at the odds and made the rational choice: surrender. The coalition's first act sends 3 spies across the Aegean to Sardis to count what was coming. These men planned to blend in among Eastern Greeks already serving Xerxes, Ionian subjects who made up part of the Persian forces. 3 more Greek faces wouldn't draw attention, but they're caught. Persian officers seize them and prepare the execution. Standard practice: kill the enemy's eyes. Then Xerxes himself intervenes, not out of mercy. He orders a full guided tour. Show the spies the infantry formations, the cavalry, the supply trains, the entire fleet. Let them count every soldier and every ship, then let them go. Follow the logic. Dead spies tell no tales, but living spies carry nightmares. If Xerxes executes these men, the Greeks learn nothing definitive. They send more scouts. Uncertainty persists on both sides. But if he releases them after showing them his full military strength, those 3 men become delivery vehicles for terror. They return to a coalition on the edge of collapse, carrying numbers so vast that resistance looks insane. Xerxes turned captured enemies into his own messengers, and the message they delivered would echo for 2,500 years. The spies return to the isthmus. Their report reaches a coalition already fracturing, and the numbers enter history. Herodotus records 1.7 million infantry, more soldiers than Agamemnon supposedly led to Troy, 1,200 triremes, warships powered by 3 banks of oars. Modern historians estimate the real force at 70,000 to 120,000 infantry and 600 to 800 ships, still enormous, but roughly 10 to 25 times smaller than the ancient claim. That inflation traces back to this moment, 3 terrified men, deliberately shown everything, reporting exactly what they were meant to report. This is information warfare, controlling the enemy's perception of your strengths to break their will before contact. Here's the irony Xerxes didn't anticipate. The same winter that forced him to halt at Sardis, the same months he used for his psychological operation, gave the Greeks time they wouldn't have had otherwise. Time to convene the Congress, time to dispatch spies and receive their report, time to survey the pass at Thermopylae, and plan a naval stand at Salamis. The winter window cut both ways. Xerxes' military necessity became Greece's opportunity, and the spy release meant to shatter the coalition may have done something unintended. It filtered out the uncommitted and left a core of the most determined fighters in Greece. Xerxes understood what military strategists still study, that wars are won in the mind before they're fought on the field. But he learned the other edge of that lesson. Showing your enemy your full power doesn't always make them break. Sometimes it tells them exactly what they face, and they prepare. When his army marched south in the spring of 480 BC, a small band of Greeks stood waiting at a narrow mountain pass. But that is another story.